Today, we're going to be talking about meeting your spirit guides. It is one of the most popular topics and questions that I get as someone that teaches spiritual and ambitious souls how to connect to their spirit guides and intuition. And people say, well, but how do I meet them? I don't understand. That's what we're going to get into today. Welcome to Spiritual and Ambitious. I'm your host, Whitney McNeill. I'm a certified medium and spiritual teacher, and I help spiritual and ambitious souls just like you live your life purpose through your career and attract abundance by connecting into your intuition and spirit guides. Let's get spiritual and ambitious. Now, before we officially get started today in meeting your spirit guides, I want to let you know that we're doing something super fun. So if you're a listener of this show, I would absolutely love it if you would give me a 5-star review if you find value. Because when you do, we're doing something really fun to celebrate. We're having a giveaway, and you can go to messengeraspirit.com/podcast review to find all the details. I'm so happy to celebrate with you and thank you for being a valued listener. All right, let's get right into it. So your spirit guides. One of the things that people say, does everybody have them? Do I have them? How do I know I have spirit guides and who are they? So who are your spirit guides? First off, they are most likely, this is going to come as a bummer to some of you, not your loved ones in spirit that have passed. I know that we like to think of our pets and our humans that we've loved so much who've crossed over into the spirit side of life. We want them to be our spirit guides. However, there are many reasons why they are not. One of the reasons is that when you're born, you get spirit guides. Actually, before you're born, you get spirit guides. So if you already have a spirit guide, and your loved one passes, there's really no immediate need for a new one. Now, another reason is that your spirit guides go through training. Yes, they go through a training process. And I'm laughing because I know you're probably going, what? Do they really do that? They do, because they are trained to be helpful for you. Let me give you an example. Think of your spirit guides as a personal life coach, or even so, I'd say someone who is a counselor for you, right? So counselors go through training to make sure that they are learning the best ways to help you. Your spirit guides do the same. They have to learn how to communicate with you. They have to learn what your mission is, what your contract is, what you're here to learn. They also have to make sure that when they communicate with you and send their messages, that they are doing so through your energy system and making sure that they're doing so in a way that's going to help you and not do any kind of damage. So one of the things I say is that your loved ones in spirit are never going to want to cause you harm, but they just might not know your energy system. So your loved ones could get the job done and send you a message, but they might be like the handyman versus a certified electrician knowing your energy system. And your spirit guides would know all about that. So training has to happen. And when your loved ones in spirit cross over, there's really no time for all the training that they need to do. Now, one of the other reasons that your loved ones are most of the time not your spirit guides is because they are subjective. They actually are still your loved ones. Your spirit guides are aligned with your purpose, your passion, and the lessons that you need to learn. So what happens is, if your loved one was your spirit guide, they might say, oh, I don't want you to have to go through that because I know that's going to cause you a little heartache. And your spirit guides are saying, hey, this small amount of heartache is going to catapult you to learn a certain lesson that you never have to experience this again. So our loved ones don't mean to cause harm, but they might be, if they were your guides. I don't want you to have to deal with that. I'm going to sidestep it. And then what happens is you'll have to learn it again, but you might have to learn it in a bigger way. I don't know about you, but I'd rather get something over with in a smaller way than have to learn a lesson that kind of really puts me down for a while. So I'd prefer the quicker route if possible. Also, your loved ones in spirit just might not be a vibrational match for you because you are vibrating at your own vibration and you have your own desires and your wants and your likes and all that. And so you're matched with a spirit guide that really vibes with it. So if you are an artist, you'll have a spirit guide that helps with your art. If you are someone who is a writer, you'll have a spirit guide that helps you with that. Now, if your loved one in spirit was a mechanic, and if your loved one in spirit was perhaps somebody who flew planes, and you're a writer or an artist, that doesn't really match up, right? So you have to make sure it's the right fit. So who are they? I eliminated one, right? Not your loved ones most of the time. I want to be really clear. Your loved ones do come in to help you and can give you messages, but they're not necessarily your spirit guides. Your spirit guides are, let's say, assigned to you for a longer period of time, depending on what their roles are. Now let's talk really quickly about angels. Angels are different than spirit guides. Angels can certainly be a guide for you, but your spirit guides, most of the time, have lived an earth plane life before. So they have gone before you and are wiser, and they have a higher vibrational energy. They're still vibing with your vibration and all the things that you're here to do. Angels generally have never lived an earth plane life before. So they can come in for love or protection, but your spirit guides have kind of done it before, and they're here to help you and see where you're going. They're also assigned personally to you, and angels are generally here to help everyone. So your spirit guides have known you for a long time. Now, there are different types of guides, and I'll really dive into that in a different episode. But your spirit guides are here to help you learn lessons, to protect you, and to guide you. So today I'm really talking about your personal guides for you. So there's generally 3 types of personal spirit guides. Like I said, a guide to guide you, right? To help you feel those gut feelings or those intuitive knowings or the visions or the sounds that you get. They guide you on your path to the right people and places and give you those hunches. Now, you also have teacher guides, and teacher guides are here to help you learn specific lessons. Teacher guides will help you with meeting the right people here on the earth plane to learn. They will help you with your understanding of a lesson. They will help you complete karma. And they also help you in the astral travel realm. So that means they help you astral travel at night. You sleep, but your spirit visits the astral plane. And they'll introduce you to people that you're going to meet on the earth plane, people you've met in the past, maybe in a past life, or to learn lessons in that realm too. Astral travel is pretty cool, and I'll do an episode on that too. Protector guides. Protector guides help you by literally protecting. They will protect you from things on the earth plane, and also they'll protect your energy as well. Now, if you're really aligned with your spirit guides and you've opened up your intuition, then you'll get the messages. So let's say that you're not supposed to go somewhere, you'll get that hunch. But most of the time, your protector guides operate on a completely different level, and you don't even know they've protected you. So if you've got that flat tire on the side of the road when you are trying to make a flight, well, that would be your protector guide protecting you from something. Maybe it's because you might have gone into an accident if you were 5 minutes ahead of schedule. Perhaps they're saving you from the plane. Who knows? Your protector guides will do so many great things that you often don't even know you're protected. Because to be honest, if they told you all the things that they protected you from, you might go into this fit of anxiety or freak out mode. We don't want that. So, one of the stories that I share, and I think I've already shared it on the podcast, but it was such a positive one. And I actually have so many. One is I was president of a spiritualist church and I had to run the meeting. And all of a sudden, I had an incident at the house that I had to deal with. It was one of those incidents where you just could not ignore. You had to be late. So I was about 20 minutes late. I got in the car and I heard, "We saved you from an accident." And I thought, whatever. And then as we turned on the road to get to the meeting, late, by the way, there was the accident. And it was before the police had even gotten there. And I said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." So they helped reorganize that for me. Now, another wonderful thing that I've seen was when I was leading a retreat in Sedona. And at the time, I was living on the East Coast in North Carolina. I was nervous, so nervous on the airplane. And I had not been previously scared to fly. I thought, what is going on? I need to talk to my guides. And we would get to our connecting flight and everything got delayed. And I even said to my husband, who wasn't my husband at the time, actually, we'd been dating for a little while, but we just knew we were those life partners for one another. I said, maybe we should just rent a car and drive home because we weren't really far from where we lived. We were just in one of those airports that were larger and then it connected into the smaller town. Well, we ended up staying on the plane. And as soon as we landed, I had this awful gut feeling in my stomach. I felt so nauseous. And I remember texting my mom because my mom and my dad were picking us up. And I said, "Hey, I'm so sorry, but I think I need to sit in the front passenger seat. I'm feeling really sick to my stomach." And in my family, that was kind of not a thing that you do. You know, your parents, no matter how old you are, the parents sit in the front. I said, "I'm sorry, I need to." And so what happened then is I sat in the front and my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, sat in the back, and my mom sat in the back where I was supposed to sit. And she could not get the seatbelt to work. She couldn't. And she said to my dad, "Hey, don't get in an accident. My seatbelt won't work." So we're almost at home. We're driving almost at home. Oh, I forgot to tell you that on the way there, I was saying, "Dad, can I drive? Can I please drive? Can I please drive?" And he was getting mad. And I don't know about you, but he was more so raised in that way of the guy's going to drive. And I am one of those people this time around on earth that, of course, is like, that is a bunch of BS. Like, women are equal. I want to drive. And anyway, kept wanting to drive. We're almost at the house and we get in an accident. And it wasn't my dad's fault. It was somebody else's fault, but we almost get in that accident. We do get in the accident, but we're almost there. And I hear my mom yell out. And they hit the side of my mom's car, like where she was sitting, which was where I would have sat. And she ended up going over into my husband's lap. And if her seatbelt would have worked, she would have been crushed. So it saved her life that her seatbelt didn't work. So do you see how all that orchestrated? Where I had the feeling, I had the gut feeling, and Spirit was orchestrating all these different things. If I would have sat where Mom was, perhaps I would have gotten the seatbelt to work. If my husband would have sat there, I know he would have gotten that seatbelt to work. And so it was, we're all still here. We had some bumps and bruises, but we're good. I've got more, but I'll stop there. I wanted to just share some of those protector stories with you. Okay, so now you've got the scoop, right? I will just say, when you are understanding that these are your personal guides, you can talk to them like that. You can talk to them and ask them, "Hey, thank you." Well, actually, that's not asking, right? That's actually saying thank you. But you can also ask them, "What am I here to learn?" And I'll cover communication with your spirit guides very soon in an upcoming episode. But you can talk with them And one of the things that I tell my students in Intuition Abundance Academy is before you go to sleep, you can ask your teacher guide to take you on an astral travel. You don't have to remember it because about 80% of the time, people forget and don't remember. But you can ask your guides to help you remember, but it's not necessary, really. Sometimes it will be, sometimes it's not. So, those are your personal guides and teachers. Now, I know that you're listening to this going, well, why do I want to astral travel? What's the benefit of that? The benefit can be different. You can learn lessons, you can prepare for things. I've prepared for speaking engagements, I've prepared for teaching classes, and I've also astral traveled with other people, and we've both remembered it as well. So let's say that you're just, I don't have any other time, or I'm dead tired and I've got to deliver this speech tomorrow. You could astral travel and practice your speech. You oftentimes will be astral traveling and not knowing what you're doing, but it attributes to your vibrational growth. Okay, so let's talk about, do they change? Do they change? Well, it depends on their roles. Generally speaking, your personal guides and teachers, the guide, the teacher, and the protector, do not change. Now, they can if you have a huge vibrational shift. And so, after this quick break, I'm going to tell you about that vibrational shift and how I've seen spirit guides change for people and how they don't. This episode is sponsored by my free Spirit Guide Masterclass. Inside, you'll learn the 5 C's of Spirit Guide communication, your role with your spirit guides, 2 proven effective strategies to stop second guessing yourself and your intuition, and the single most important step to understand your intuitive guidance, along with 4 ways to perceive your spiritual intuitive messages. You'll also be getting a workbook to go through this class as well. You can join at messengerofspirit.com/free class. Okay, so do they change? Most of the time, no. Sometimes, yes. Let's say that you're a person that has really had their whole entire life planned out. I don't know if you caught that, but that was whole and entire life mixed together. So your entire life planned out. However, there's a turning point for you in your life where you had a huge awakening or a huge aha, and you decide, I am going to do something different in my life. So here's an example. I know that there are some people out there that really love routine and don't really love change. And I've seen examples, and I'll just be this general person telling you an example right now. Let's say that you are kind of a grumpy person. Let's say that you're a grumpy person and you're having this routine and it's just kind of like only seeing life through one perspective. And then all of a sudden you have a heart attack and you have this huge awakening and you think, I don't want to waste my life. There's more out there. I want to learn more about spirit. I want to know more about my purpose. I've just been going through the motions. What's going on with me? And you decide to quit your job and you decide to do something completely different. Well, you would have new guides because your guides wouldn't be specializing in all the things that you used to do before. Now, I got new guides when I made a radical change in my life. So, for an example, I always loved spiritual things, always. So, not all of my guides changed, but my direction changed. I was someone that saw spirit as a little girl and all the way up through my early 20s. And then at some point, I shut my abilities down and then got them back up online later. When I had everything shut down, I was making choices and not happy in my career, not happy in my life. And so I had guides that just helped me specialize in the job that I was doing. Then I became really ill, really sick. And when I had this radical transformation, where I said, I'm quitting my job and I'm going to be a medium full time, I changed some guides so that they could help me move forward full time in my own business. Now, the Whitney before this awakening would never have had enough courage to start her own business. The Whitney after the awakening was, I'm not wasting my life. I'm going to do this. So, in that kind of way, your spirit guides can shift and change. And when I'm talking about spirit guides, I'm talking about your personal guides. However, most of the time, they stay the same. So, one of the questions I have I known them before? Well, maybe. In a past life, perhaps, or on the other side of life in the spirit world, maybe you know them and there's a contract that can happen. So you may have a contract with this soul that says, we're going to enter into this spirit guide agreement while you're incarnated on earth. So you may have known them before, or you might just know them on the spiritual side of life. However, you might not know them at all. You can also get spirit guides just through attraction, meaning the vibration that you're emitting. It's like this vibrational match. Things happen a little differently in spirit. I know that sometimes we want things to be super linear. Spirit is not that. And so we emit a certain vibration. I just want you to imagine that, let's say your vibration is a certain pattern. And your spirit guides match that pattern. So it's similar to like a lock and a key, right? You have to have that perfect fit or puzzle piece. So you can get your spirit guides through 1, attraction, and 2, contracts. How many do you have? Well, your personal spirit guide team is usually 2 to 3 spirit guides, but there are other types of spirit guides I'll talk about in future episodes, such as mediumship spirit guides, healing spirit guides when you become interested in intuitive development, and so forth and so on. But generally speaking, with personal guides, 2 to 3. Now, what do they do? I think we covered a lot of that, but sometimes we just think that they're sitting around waiting for us. Oh, no, no, no. Your spirit guides, first of all, love when you communicate with them. The more that you communicate with them, the more they are receptive and communicate with you. That means they are working to create opportunities for you. That is what they do. So even though they have different roles, they are saying, I'm going to work to create opportunities for you along your life purpose and your life path. You, my friend, direct the ship. When you align your intuition and you develop your intuition, you then start to receive their messages. And when you've done that, you can also tell them, hey, I really would like help with XYZ. Hey, this is my intention. And your spirit guides say, let's go to work. Let's make that happen for you. Let's do it. Unless you're giving them an intention that's truly not in alignment and is not heart-centered. So if you're just giving out ego intentions, nah. If you are doing something from the heart and you feel inspired with it, sure, absolutely. So they work and conspire in a way to help you. They're always looking at what can we do to help you and get you on track or to help you manifest your goal. That's how they help. And they communicate with you by giving you hunches, maybe you see, hear, or feel. And they also will put people in your path and situations in your path, and they'll even close doors. You might get a door closed and you're like, why isn't this working out? I thought this was the right path, and all of a sudden it's just not. So if you're feeling like the door is closed, rest assured your spirit guides are saying, hey, just pivot a little bit. This other door's open. We're trying to nudge you in the right direction. Now, how do you meet your spirit guides? Well, you meet your spirit guides a couple ways. One is to learn how to develop your intuition. Don't worry, I've got a resource for you on that. When you develop your intuition, you really start to see them, hear them, feel them, or just know that they're there. One of the things that I'll tell you to do is to express that intention. Even if you haven't developed your intuition, just express your intention. and express it out there to say, I'd really like to meet my spirit guides. I would really like to meet and know more about my guides. Also, before you go to bed, you can express that intention too. I'd really like to go on an astral travel with my spirit guides. I would really like to know more. Now, when my students start developing their intuition in my program, sometimes it's like this lightning bolt of, yes, I see them. And if they are a channeler, they may not all of a sudden see them. Your spirit guides will only give you what you're ready for. So, with that being said, your guides also can determine how much information they want to give you. Now, if you're an introvert, your spirit guides are probably also introverted. If you're an extrovert, they're probably extroverted. If you're talkative, they're probably talkative. And if you're not, they're probably on the quieter end of the spectrum. So, if you're someone that takes a little while to get to know, your spirit guides are probably the same. If you are like, here's my life story, let me tell you all the things, spirit guides are probably like that too. Just as a side note, if you are someone that is interested in doing readings, well, it happens that way too. When you read for your client, their spirit guides might just give you a tiny tidbit of information because they're introverted or closed up or closed down, however you want to look at it. Or they might be giving you all the things, and that's because they're more open. Apply that concept to yourself and you can understand your spirit guides. Now, if your spirit guides are kind of wanting to communicate with you in one way, they will present to you how they want to communicate. So here's an example. Sometimes spirit guides are like, my name is this, this, and this. And you get all this information. Now, sometimes your guides are like, nope. And you're like, I've been asking for their name forever. I get nothing. Your spirit guides communicate with you in different ways. So I have a spirit guide who did not show me his name through visual, or I didn't hear it. He communicated with me through a visual symbol. So when I said he didn't communicate with me through a visual, it's like I didn't see his name typed out. I saw a symbol and it was an arrow that was broken. And then I had a feeling and a knowing, oh, your name is Broken Arrow and you help me with helping others finding their life direction. And it was so beautiful. So they can communicate their names in different ways, symbolic, through hearing, through feeling, through knowing. And then some guides are like, nah, no name. Names are silly. They're only for the earth plane, and I will just identify myself as a color or a feeling. And sometimes the spirit guides, they don't want to give you their name because you might use it all the time. And in spirit, when you're using or thinking about a person all the time, it's kind of like you're pulling their energy in over and over. It's almost like a you've got mail flag to your spirit guides. And it doesn't work the way we think. It works the way your energy is. So sometimes they're like, I don't know, how much are you going to use my name? So just giving you a little insight into your spirit guides. They're always, though, here to help you, and they will let you know how they're going to communicate with you. It's just based on, one, your energy and how you receive it. So what is your intuitive language? If you haven't taken the quiz, you can do that. We'll link to it in the show notes. Taking the quiz, what's my intuitive language? And have I developed my intuition? So understanding that's going to be key to communicating with them. And I'll be talking about communicating with your guides in the next episode. But for now, I just want you to really set your intentions out there. Now, if you are really ready and you're like, ooh, I want to learn all the things, Whitney, you can take my quiz. We'll link to it in the show notes. But I have a free Spirit Guide Masterclass, and I'll be giving you 5 ways to communicate with your spirit guides. And you can do that at messengerofspirit.com/free class. All right, that is it for now. Thank you for being here. And I really am looking forward to having you understand how your spirit guides help you align to your life purpose and then do that in your business. And how do your spirit guides help you in your business and in your life? They do. This is just one of the steps to get there. And I look forward to talking more about spirit guides, your purpose, abundance, and manifesting, and intuition in upcoming episodes. All right, here is to staying spiritual and ambitious. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. And if you loved it, would you please share it with a friend? I would also love your review and a reminder to subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can find me at messengerofspirit.com, and you can take the 4 Intuitive Languages quiz and find show notes there too. If you want to connect on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, you can find me at Messenger of Spirit. If you want to continue the conversation, join my free Facebook group at messengerofspirit.com/group. I'll meet you right here next week. Here's to staying spiritual and ambitious.